all of us are born here for a purpose. We have a reason for being here. We aren't here randomly just plucked around and close.
In this episode of Insights at the Edge, my guest is Dr. Gladys McGarey. Dr. Gladys, as she's known, is 102 years old, and she's still a consulting doctor. She practices what she now calls living medicine, and we're going to be hearing more about that. Some people refer to Dr. Gladys as the mother of holistic medicine. She's the co-founder and past president of the American Holistic Medical Association, which is now called the Academy of Integrative Health and Medicine, as well as the co-founder of the Academy of Parapsychology and Medicine. She lives and works in Scottsdale, Arizona, is the mother of 6 children and a great-great-grandmother. Dr. Gladys is a remarkable force of nature and, dare I say, a remarkable human being who is a force of love. At age 100, she started penning her book. It's called The Well-Lived Life, a 102-year-old doctor's 6 secrets to health and happiness. Dr. Gladys, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm so happy to be here.
Great to be with you. You begin your book, The 6 Secrets to a Well-Lived Life, talking about this notion of finding our juice in life. And that is part of what fuels us. And I'd love to know right here at the start, where do you find your juice now at this point at 102?
Well, I don't think it's ever changed much. I mean, it's grown, it's developed, it's morphed into different places of things and in different ways that the world could accept it. But the fact of the matter is, I think that all of us are born here for a purpose. We have a reason for being here. We aren't here randomly just plucked around and close. I think our souls know where and what it is that we came to do this lifetime. And it's kind of nice if you know early, but sometimes you don't. Sometimes you go through a lot of different trials, sort of like internships or something like that, to find out where you fit. And then if you're looking for it, I guarantee you'll find it. But you won't find it if you don't look for it. So we are looking for the thing that lights our souls up, what made you create this whole concept and now feel that this is why you're here. You know why you're here. And when we recognize the reason that we're here, then we can really share it with other people. Prior to that, we're sharing it, but we can share it from deep inside ourselves, and it makes a difference to other people.
How would you language the reason you're here and when you first discovered it? How did you first discover it?
I came here to be a physician. I came here to be a doctor. When I played with my dolls, and my sister wouldn't let me play with hers because mine were always sick, and I had to work with them. And she wouldn't let me do that to her dolls. So, but I knew when I was 2 that I didn't question it. I knew I was a doctor. I have 3 little great granddaughters who, when they were 2, told their parents they were doctors. I had one who didn't want to get a COVID shot, so she was objecting to that. But when she came home, she stood in front of her grandfather, who's my son, who's a retired orthopedic surgeon, and she puts her shoulders back and looks up at him, and she says, "Next time when I get to be a doctor, I'm going to be a good doctor. She didn't like the shot. So, I think I think we all come in with a special place. In my mind, it's kind of like a huge jigsaw puzzle. And each one of us is a piece in that jigsaw puzzle. And there isn't anybody else that can fit in there. I've tried to put other pieces in jigsaw puzzles and they don't work. And then if you have made a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle, you put the whole thing together and one piece is missing, you drive yourself crazy looking for that one piece, because each one of us are essential in the place where we are and who we are. So it's finding that inner knowing about who and what we are and what we really want to do, what it is that really makes our soul sing. And when you find that, you know it.
Now, in your case, you knew from age 2 that you wanted to be a physician, and here you are at 102, still a consulting physician. A lot of people that I know who decide to be doctors, they go into retirement in their 60s. It's over. They made enough money, they banked it. Now, who knows what they're going to do? And I think that's a narrative in our culture. Not as I age, I'm going to continue to animate a professional life of some kind or a purpose-driven life. It's time to go to the golf course, right? What do you think about that?
I think it's very sad. I think it's very sad that because we'll always have people that are you talking about physicians? Yeah.
No, I'm actually more broadly than that. I mean, okay. I see it all over the place,
Yeah, it is all over the place. If you come to a point where you think you've lived your life and you're done and you can just play now, well, maybe that's true, but find out what your play is for and what it's going to do for the world. I mean, have a reason. If you're going to spend the rest of your life playing, all right, there's nothing wrong with that. But what's it going to do for you and for the rest of the people that you meet? In other words, if life is going to go on, how do we keep it alive? It has to be moving. Life has to move. If it gets stuck someplace, it dies. It can't. Life itself is a moving energy, and energy has to move. And when that it moves with love, no matter what it is or who it loves. Maybe, I had can I tell a story here?
Please.
Okay. I had a friend and he was a patient of mine, and he moved into dementia. And so we had him in a nice home where he was being taken care of, and everything seemed okay. One day I took a little plant over to him and put it in his window, and I said, James, this little plant is your plant, but it's going to need you to take care of him. Now, he didn't know what I was talking about, that I could tell, but I said, it's going to need water. I talked to him a little bit about the plant, and that's about as much as I had done. I brought it, gave it to him, and left it with him. I came back a week later, and he met me at the door, and he said, he was so excited. He said, there's magic here. There's magic here. And I said, oh, well, yeah, well, great. Where? So we go, he takes me over to the air conditioner box, and he points up to that, and he says, see, push this button, and the whole room gets cool, and my plant likes it. And he said, you push that button, and the room gets hot, and my plant doesn't like it. I mean, it was just that little plant that gave him a connection to something that was living, that he had some control over, keeping alive and keeping happy. I mean, I was in tears when I left, because to me, that's what life can and will do if we can see the places, any place that you see there's something that you can do that reaches out to somebody else. And, it's sort of like if I have a flashlight and I'm going down this dark path, and I can see as far as I could go and so on and so on. But as I walk down that path, if I see to the right or to the left a little light that's flickering, and then I add my light to that light, all of a sudden the other light has a lot more light. It's the ability to be looking not just for your own deep light, but what else is going on around you, how you're connected with the world around you.
In the well-lived life, you actually cite various research studies that have been done that show how when we're on purpose, it affects our health. It can, and what I'd love to know is, how do you understand that? How is it? I mean, I think people are looking for, is it my diet? Is it the exercise? Is it how much sleep? Is it this or that? And you really come out strong. It's living with being turned on with juice that, from your view, is such a huge factor in our health. How do you see that directly impacting our longevity and health?
I think each one of us is personally in charge of how we use our juice and how we're going to do with what is my own personal life force. My oldest son is a retired orthopedic surgeon, and when he came through Phoenix, he was going down to Del Rio, Texas to start his practice. And he said to me, Mom, I'm going to go into the world with this amazing work that I have to do, and I'm going to have people's lives in my hands. I don't know if I can handle that. And I said to him, well, Carl, if you think you're the one that does the healing, you have a right to be scared. But if you can realize that this amazing work that you've been trained to do, and believe me, if I have something that requires orthopedic surgery, I want a good orthopedic surgeon to do the work that he's been trained to do. This is amazing stuff that you've learned and you know how to do. You do it to the best of your ability. And in the meantime, you're in the process of contacting the physician within the patient, who now takes what you're saying and what you're doing and allows it to happen, makes it real. That physician within that patient becomes your colleague. If that patient doesn't understand and keeps asking you questions, keep answering them the best you can. But you can't make that patient do what you want him to do. You can explain it the best way you can. He may become a resistant patient, but whatever it is, that patient has within her whole being the life force, the life process that you now have connected with your techniques and the thing that you know how to do, and you bring about the ongoing healing process. But it's her job to continue that. It's like I gave the little plant to James, but he had to keep watering it. It's the importance of understanding that life has to move. It has to keep going or it gets stuck, and that we're not alone in this world.